What's up, guys? Welcome to the ADHD Experience. I am your host, Eric Falgu, and today my guest is Glen Smith. I've been knowing Glen since I was 22, because I think I met your daughter, Vicky, when I was 21, right when I started cutting hair. And from day one, you've inspired me and made me use my brain to think a lot more than some people, and that had my motor going ever since. So thank you for coming on the show, man.
It's my pleasure.
So we're just going to get right into it, people. These are all unbiased opinions of my guest. I am just listening to his story, and I think he's got a lot to share with the world, and hopefully you think so too. So Glen, where are you originally from? Where were you born?
As I like to say, right cheer.
Right cheer. Where's right cheer at for the folks listening? Yeah,
New Orleans.
New Orleans, baby. That's the best one. Where did you grow up? Where'd you start schools at?
I was born right across the street from the Ninth Ward. The
Ninth Ward in the
line
city?
was right there.
In New Orleans.
Yeah, until I was about 4, and I moved to 312 South Murat and Bank Street.
Bank Street, huh?
Uptown.
Right on.
Went uptown. Moving on up.
Uptown, baby.
And I lived there in that area, because we did move to Canal Street till my grandmother died. I was 10.
You moved a lot. It sounds like you moved a few times.
Yeah, but we were moving on up.
Okay, right on.
Murat was beautiful, humongous. When you see them big 2-story humongous houses in New Orleans, that's Murat was.
Wow.
Balconies front, balconies back.
Wow.
And then we moved to Canal Street. My grandmother died, and
How old were you when she died?
10.
10.
And my mother wanted to move back to the Ninth Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I've been away so long, I have learned to say Ninth.
There you go.
At the time, during that move, I was going to Crossman, which was on Carrollton Avenue, right next to Jesuit.
Right on. Catholic school or regular school?
No,
or public?
Public school.
Okay.
In fact, when I was going there, they made Hawaii a state.
No shit. He's not that old, guys. Young man.
And after living in the Ninth Ward throughout to the end of the year, then I went to school at Charles E. Garray,
Right.
on Franklin Avenue.
Where'd you go to middle school or high school at?
C.J. Colton, junior high, and I went to Francis T. Nichols,
Francis T.
Civil
Nichols.
War general.
Right on. How was it? How was high school?
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I had the time of my life.
Were you a straight A guy or what were you? You were a skipping school guy?
I was a girl guy.
What?
I was chasing girls.
All day,
That was
huh?
my only reason. In fact, my uncles used to tell me you go to school because that's the moon time, you know.
Right.
Space. And
Mm-hmm.
so you going to school to take up space,
Yeah.
or you going to school to eat your lunch?
Uncle's always got a weird way of saying shit, huh?
Yeah, well, I shocked them. I said, no, I'm going to eat the teacher.
There you go, baby. I knew I liked this guy. See, guys? See why? We just coming straight out
And
the
I
gate.
did have one.
Uh-huh.
She was
Teacher?
big.
Teacher?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you like them. Cougars? All
And I
right.
learned if you sat in the back and you called over to ask you help you draw something,
Right.
she'd bend your ear down,
No shit. What's up with the ear bending?
the chest.
God.
So then,
Oh, dude. I love it.
You know that guys can go in bathrooms now. You know,
Oh, yeah, correct.
I used to sit in class and daydream of how I could do that.
No shit. Yeah. I guess.
So the best I could come up with was get somebody else to get the teacher to go to the back desk and help them how to draw while I got under the table behind it. And
This is high school?
Junior high.
Nice. So were you like, did you do any drugs in school? Like, when did you start doing drugs?
No. At 18.
18. All right. So you waited till
We had
you
a little weed.
a little old enough. What was your first drug you ever did?
Acid.
Perfect. Why acid? I thought
Because I thought to myself it wasn't LSD.
Okay. Well, I thought everybody said weed is like the gateway drug, so it wasn't weed first?
That's BS. Alcohol is the gateway drug.
Right on. I heard that. Right on. Definitely has its...
But you missed the thing. Acid was LSD.
Right. Oh, no. I caught that.
I didn't know it till after.
Well, I actually just learned about that recently, and I was
But I saw public service buses with Mickey Mouse ears.
Right. You took a whole hit, or like, how did you take it?
The whole hit. It
Okay.
was tablets then.
Oh, wow.
It was tablets.
They dropped
then.
it in the tablets. Who did you get it from? Like, you was just getting it from like a buddy? Or
Best friend.
There you go, brother. There you go.
He pulled out his Zippo lighter, and he pulled the cotton up. You familiar with a Zippo lighter?
Yes, sir.
And under the cotton was 2 hits of blue flat.
And some ethanol lighter fluid with it.
No, it was just a plain dry lighter.
Oh, gotcha. The bottom part.
Yeah.
I thought you meant he pulled. Yeah. Okay.
And
I used to smoke
had
some
some
of
really mind-expanding experiences.
So after that were you hooked on it, or did you try something else?
Well, we called ourselves weekend warriors.
Nice.
You can't do it back to back.
No, sir. And you got to be responsible, right? You got to work hard, play hard.
So it was pretty much that occasional pain pill here, there.
Right on.
Nothing
right on.
big.
What was like the prevalent drug back then? What was like? When is this?
Weed.
Like,
it was weed.
60s?
We talking about late 60s, early 70s.
Right on. So that was really what was other shit. What really wasn't even exposed yet.
No, but I had a friend that I did a favor for.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you did this favor? This is still in high school, or
no?
Okay,
no. I turned 18 in '69.
Gotcha. And so, where did you work? Like, what job you had? Or did you go to college? Any college?
No.
Okay.
I started while I was in school working at a wall paneling factory.
Okay.
That my dad was the warehousing and shipping superintendent. And I went there, and I'd blow the production lines down with hose, blow the sawdust all out the way.
Right.
And then when I turned 19, I was working on a production line.
Right.
And the next thing you know, I'm a foreman. I'm a supervisor. I got
You worked your way
a
up real quick.
14-man crew.
How long that took you?
About a year.
About a year, okay.
About a year. But that was the scenario.
Right.
The rest of my life.
20-year-old man running a 14-man crew. What did that make you feel like?
With the highest production and the lowest cost.
How that made you feel?
King Kong.
Huh?
King Kong.
There you go, man. There you go. So, how long did you do that? Like, what happened after?
I did that until I was about 24.
Okay.
I got tired of them not paying me what I was worth because I was young.
Right. I get that.
So I saw an ad in the paper, a job open in a chemical plant.
Gotcha.
Paying $7.50 an hour.
Holy shit.
Now, at that time, you could go out and party all weekend, go home drunk every night on a $20 bill. That's how cheap drinks were. So I worked there in maintenance as a millwright, which is basically working on pumps, compressors,
right.
Things that they needed to produce chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
I did that less than a year. They made me a supervisor.
Wow. So a year after that.
I did that for a few years. And
seems like you have a good track record with being a leader.
Yeah, and planner.
And a planner.
Organizer.
Right. Logical thinker.
During that time, I met this girl called cocaine.
I've heard of her. I've heard of her.
And I fell in love with her.
How old were you when you tried her? Or when you met her? I'm sorry.
24, 25.
Okay.
I had a friend that I helped him out. He went to California. He bought a BMW back in that time. If you bought a car, even if it wasn't paid for, you got the title. He got the title.
Right
he
on.
came back here.
Right. Not like they do nowadays.
And I got a call from another friend that said that some investigators were looking for him. So I called him, and he packed. He was my roommate. He packed up. He left. He told me to go to his. Actually, he had moved out from me, but he was my roommate. And he told me to go to his house, and I could pick up 9 canisters of nitrous oxide and keep them.
And what the hell would you do with that?
Inhale it.
Oh, right. All right.
Without an oxygen mixer.
So is that called a whippet?
I don't know what they called it, but
right. No shit, man. So
I had bought a brand new Cadillac.
Okay.
And I let a friend drive it, and I threw the tank of nitrous in the back seat. Hold the hose up, and I'd be riding over the GNO, because that's what happens with the nitrous.
Yes,
Yeah.
It definitely.
People be talking, you can't understand what they say.
Right. It's almost like when you do DMT. It's like the
Yeah.
Vroom.
And I quit.
The nitrous or the job?
The job. I quit because I sent who wasn't yet my wife. I sent because I was working a shutdown.
Right.
I sent her to Miami to buy a quarter ounce of coke from.
So this is
quarter pound of coke.
This is your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time.
Okay, at the time.
And
so at this age, you're 25. You have a girlfriend.
The one memorable thing of that. Well, no, we left out a lot.
Yeah.
By this time, I was already 2 wives down.
So how old were you when you met your first wife, or when you got married? First wife.
I met her at 15.
Holy shit.
And we got married at 18.
Ah, okay. Okay.
That was my little insurance policy on not going to Vietnam.
Okay.
I didn't want to go to Canada.
Right on. Was that during the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you opt out on that to.
Yeah. I went from 1A, which you next.
Right. And how old were you when you had your second wife? Like when you got a divorce?
23.
So how long did the first relationship last? Marriage?
2 years. 3 years.
What happened?
3 years. We waited a year and we had a kid. And she found somebody that made way more money than me. I was still working at that plywood plant.
Gotcha. Is that one of the reasons that you went and worked at a chemical factory?
No.
Okay.
No, by the time I paid my child support and ate, there was very little money left. And they were only paying me like $750 a month.
Right.
I went from $750 a month to $750 an hour sometime, and double time and a half on Saturday, double time on Sunday.
Gotcha. So at the refinery, you were making.
After I got promoted, I saved up for 2 weeks. And I went and bought a new Cadillac.
Wow. Just 2-week check. 2 checks.
Well, I had a little tiny note with it, but it was a nice big down payment.
Right.
For the time, I forget what. I paid. I think I paid $9,000 for it.
Brand new Cadillac.
Yeah.
Cadillac, $9,000.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So when did you meet your second wife?
In an apartment complex at the pool.
How old were you?
I'd been divorced, I guess, 22.
Okay.
Maybe 23.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out when you met your third wife to
And
how long that lasted? That second one?
6 months.
6 months. She was crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
No.
She was hypoglycemic.
Gotcha.
She was hypoglycemic.
Yes. They could be very.
So I got to missing the plant, and a plant superintendent from a different plant called me, wanted to know if I wanted to go to work for him, and I said, yeah.
Right.
So I'm back in. I'm back, making money.
Right, right.
And the plant that I had left, it was actually two plants. One made urea, which is a fertilizer, and they piped it straight over and turned it into melamine, which is, those black ashtrays, cafeteria plates. That was melamine. It was producing $200,000 a day in profit. And it crashed. Now, they had hired this other guy. That's one of the reasons I quit. I remember why I quit now. They wanted to put us on salary.
Right, right.
Which, you know what salary means.
Correct.
You there first, you
Yes.
there last, and you get the same money.
Exactly.
So I quit.
Because you want to produce and get paid for what you produce.
Yeah. So this guy took my job.
Right.
On salary, and they gave him a company truck and a credit card.
But they didn't do that for you.
Well, the plant crashed after being down and working 7/12s.
Gotcha.
Sometimes 14s, sometimes 18s.
Right, right. OSHA wasn't around
he quit.
back then, huh? Holy shit.
He quit. So the superintendent in the plant I was working in told me that the superintendent in the plant I quit wanted me to bring him a pipe fitting.
Right.
I brought in the pipe fitting. He said, sit down.
Oh, shit.
He says, Lou White quit. You want to come back? And I said, yeah, I'll come back, but not on salary.
Right.
He says, no problem. So I'm working for a contractor.
Right.
So I'll walk out after the deal's made, and the superintendent for the contractor was waiting for me to hear my reply. He said, what'd you decide? I said, I'm going to come back. He says, great. I said, what about that company truck and the credit card?
Right.
He says, they're yours.
Nice.
So now I got a brand new Harley, I got a brand new Cadillac, and I got a brand new company truck.
And this is all while you're with your second wife.
No, because I had met what was going to be my third.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so now we're on the third wife,
which is Vicky and Christina's
right.
mom.
And so now you said you had to go to Miami for what exactly? This is
Buy a quarter-pound of Coke.
Okay. So are you still working at the plant at this point? Or are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's why I'm working at the plant. I can't go to Miami.
Right.
But I did make a few trips later.
Okay.
Some interesting stories.
So you got into let's get into some of that. Like you go to Miami. What's this? You buying a quarter ounce of Coke? I mean,
quarter pound.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Big difference.
Yeah.
This is at what point is this? How do I say this? Like, why are you?
I'm still working at the plant.
Right.
And I used to go to the airport, make up a name, buy a ticket.
Right.
And I was going once or twice a month.
So you were at this point selling it, or you were just doing it for?
No. Yeah, well, half of it was somebody else, and the other half was for me.
Correct.
But when I first started going,
right,
Miami was a small, little, quiet town with retired Jewish people.
Okay. That was it.
And
what happened?
I find out later, recently, I watched the movie Cocaine Cowboys. Did you see that?
Yes, sir. I did, actually. I thought you were going to say Blow, but...
I saw that one, too.
Yeah.
I saw that one, too. But Cocaine Cowboys, it put it all in perspective. There was times where they had this other guy that was a contractor in the plant, and he did insulation. He was making mega money.
Big shit.
I'd go down and I'd get Coke for him. I went with one of his friends, get a couple of 100 pounds of weed.
How'd you get into all this? Like, it's just people you've been knowing, guys?
My friend that I helped out,
right.
He left New Orleans, went to Miami.
Ah.
He was a Puerto Rican.
Gotcha.
So he spoke the language.
Right.
And he had the connections.
This was your best friend from High school?
Well, he wasn't best friend.
Right,
No,
but-
no. Actually, he was a friend of my second wife. That's how I
Okay.
met
Okay.
him.
Yeah. Just trying to connect the dots, you know.
Yeah. And we drove in the back of this Cuban restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And when I pulled in, I'm staring at a guy at the far end of the parking lot with a Uzi. Guy to the right with a Uzi, guy to the left with a Uzi, and a guy I just drove by with a Uzi. So we go in. I wasn't making a deal, so I couldn't be in on it, but I could hear. So I'm sitting in the office in the back of this Cuban restaurant.
Right.
And I'm reading an award from the CIA, from the president, from the CIA, for the Bay of Pigs.
Wow. Holy shit.
So I would assume he's still in the CIA, which goes right in with blow.
Correct. And cocaine cowboys. When you
And
think about it.
cocaine cowboys. And I'm going to get to that, and it's right here.
That's it.
The deal is made. 100 wasn't that good, and the other 100 pounds was fantastic. But he told him, he gave him a better price, but he had to take both.
Wow.
And he did.
Okay.
So I go pull the car up. We put the stuff in. We pull out. I pull out the lot, turn to the right, stop sign, main throughway. Dade County Police parked on the other side of the street. So I waved to him, come on. He says, no, you, come on. So I pulled out. I was nervous.
Right.
I was nervous.
Right.
But when he did that, no, you, come on, I told the guy next to him, I said, he was here for us. Did you see in Cocaine Cowboys when they said that they had the whole Dade County Police Department on the payroll?
Yes. Gotcha. So he was basically signaling you to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Your job's done. Bye. No shit, man. A lot of corruption.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, I guess that's where it started.
It was unreal. It was unreal.
What time era is this? Is 70s?
Yeah, 70s, somewhere around.
When did cocaine
75.
like really like?
Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story on that, too. My friend, when he was there, he must have just found out about it.
Right.
He says, man, you ought to see this shit here. I got what's going to be the next weed. And he was talking about coke. Because it wasn't that big yet.
Right.
It wasn't, hardly anybody knew about it here.
Right.
It was not in the news. It was not in the nightclubs.
So it sounds like you were a part of that era when Cocaine Cowboys even started.
Exactly.
You might have been one of them.
Well, no.
Small time?
I ended up being my best customer.
There you go. Yeah. There's two types of...
I ended up being my best customer. I bought 2 ounces, and I didn't leave my house until I was down to a quarter ounce.
How long that took? How many days?
A week.
A week?
Week or two.
And at that time, were like you and your wife doing that? Okay.
No.
Just you?
She didn't even know at that time.
Holy shit.
She didn't even know.
Were Quaaludes around then?
No.
No, not yet.
Quaaludes came out after. We were married.
Okay. So this is...
and she was a beautiful, dark-skinned Hispanic woman.
Yes.
That's where Vicky gets her little darkness from. And
Right.
Christine, if she goes out in the sun.
Yeah.
And she comes...
How old were you when you got married?
I think I was 27.
27. How'd y'all meet?
We originally met when my first wife and I separated.
Okay.
At a club in the French Quarter.
All right.
Called Deja Vu.
I've heard of it.
It was fantastic back then.
No shit.
Fantastic. And she was, my wife was pool shark. Her and her friend. She was dark-skinned, black hair. Her friend was light-skinned, blonde.
Wow.
Chocolate vanilla.
Yin and yang, man.
Yeah. And I used to play pool with them.
Right.
I wasn't that bad. I've been shooting pool since I was 10. And I'll never forget, we we played, whoever won, if I won, she had to kiss me, and if she won, she didn't have to.
No shit.
I got my kiss.
There you go.
I got my kiss.
Got to win it.
And I used to bring her home. Never with any hanky-panky. I just bring her home like a gentleman.
Right. Correct. Yes, sir.
And she was young. She was 4 years younger than me.
Okay.
She was around 18 at the time. I must have been around 22.
Okay.
And now fast forward back to when I'm working in the plant, I'm making money hand over fist. And it's a few years later.
Right.
And
she kind of came back in the picture.
Oh, man. They had two that was the hottest places in the city. Was Georgie Porgy's, which was owned by a guy named, I can't think of his name. I know him well, play cards with him. Roy Anselmo.
Okay.
And there was this other hot club that was the top club. It was called Top of the Mart. And it was on the top floor of the International Trademark Building right down the river that they just turned into a Sheraton Four Seasons.
Right.
Top 30 floors are condos and the bottom 30 are hotels.
So that used to be a nightclub called 360 also, right? Club 360?
I think, yeah.
I've been to it before.
And then they had, at the time, when I first met my wife, she was working there.
Okay.
And then they built the Hilton because they were getting ready to come in with this. They were getting closer to the 80s. They built...
bartender? What did she do there?
She was a cocktail waitress.
Ah, okay.
And I'm in there with my three-piece suit on, pocket full of
Fresh as fuck.
bottle of Coke.
A bottle of Coke. And we ain't talking about cola. Holy shit.
And we walked past each other. And I didn't recognize her, but I said, man, I had to turn around and get a little look.
Right. Double take.
Did I tell you this story already?
No.
So I turned around, and I didn't get to see the butt because she had stopped, turned around, and looking at me.
Right. She was checking out your butt.
Yeah, so I ain't going to let this.
Right.
I walked toward her. She walked toward me. She says, don't I know you from somewhere? I said, you stealing my line? And then she realizes deja vu. She says, deja vu. I said,
damn.
Oh, yeah.
No shit. So you didn't realize it was her?
Not till she said deja vu.
No shit.
And she was looking good. She had this little like Tarzan and Jane skirt on,
Right.
Diagonal cut,
right.
High to low,
Yeah. She was stylish.
She was looking good.
Right.
She had an ounce of fat on her. And she says, well, look, let's get together. Let's go out. I said, all right, Friday. She says, all right. I found something better to do.
There you go.
I didn't go.
Got caught
But
up.
I also know that if you want something, don't act like you want it.
Games.
So about a week later, I go into Georgie Porgy, and the bartender puts a drink in front of me as I was giving him the napkin with the Coke bottle.
Right.
And I said, what's this? He says, Laura said she wanted to buy you a drink. And he points at her. I look, and there she was. She was in Georgie Porgy's.
That was her name, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, thank you. Next thing you know, she's pulling me off the bar stool on a dance floor.
There you go.
I'd already talked to, on the way in, I talked to this other cocktail waitress in there called SJ, who was a friend of my friend in Miami.
Yeah, right. Everybody's
It was ex-girlfriend.
Right. Everybody's connected.
And she says, I'm about to get off. You want to go somewhere? I said, all right, SJ. So we got on a dance floor, Laura and I, and we dance, and, She says, let's go somewhere.
Right.
I said, well, I can. I said, I told SJ I was going somewhere with her, Can I come too? I said, sure. She says, we'll go in my car. I got an LTD. Parked in back of the hotel. I said, no, we'll go in my car. I got a new Cadillac parked in front of the hotel.
There you go.
So she says, all right. She says, I'm sitting in the middle. So, come on, baby. Whoever gets in the car first sits in the middle, you know?
Right, right. So what'd y'all go do after that?
Well, she said, never mind. I'm just going home. She just walked me to my car. I said, oh, no.
No shit.
You don't think I'm falling for that?
That's hard to get, baby.
You don't think I'm falling for that, huh?
Right.
She says, no, sir. Well, walk me to the escalators that go down. Coles Park right outside the door, the bottom
Right.
escalators. So I said, all right, I'll walk you to the escalators. And we walk out near these big brick columns that separated the floors. And she
Right.
pulled me behind the column. And she threw that tongue down my throat.
Hooked like crack.
And finished the kiss. I said, where's the car?
The hell with this. Let's go. Let's go.
So I said, come on, let's go in my car.
So what happened after that? Y'all started dating?
Well, we went to Lucky Pierre's, which was a place on Bourbon Street.
All right,
You got upscale breakfast.
Okay.
It was
okay.
right before St. Anne Street.
Gotcha.
So we went there. We had breakfast. Fantastic breakfast. I'm paying the check. We're about to get up.
What time is it at this point?
1.
Okay.
I didn't go out till after Saturday night. Live went off. So it was 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Right.
And she says, from behind I hear, you no good dirty dog. That's SJ.
Yeah. She's on to us.
Yeah. So long story short, we lived happily ever after.
Okay.
And
then y'all had some babies?
we had 2 babies after many years of fighting. I graduated from snorting coke to shooting coke.
Okay.
Got tired of feeling bad about myself.
Right.
Started making rocks.
Why you was feeling bad? I mean, if you...
I didn't feel too good about sticking that needle in my arm.
Right, right.
But it felt good.
What drove you to that, though? Because, working at the refineries and
Working at the refinery,
being a foreman.
Working around all kind of people that was making all kind of money.
So you was mad?
Well, they were buying from me left and right.
Right.
And I kept, $200-300 a day.
Right. On top of your
Per
pay.
person.
Right. Oh, wow. Shit. Okay. On top of your pay.
Per person on top of my pay.
So you were just getting caught up in the life of selling and using.
Yeah.
And then once the coke stops working, you got to go for number 2.
Yeah. So she spent like $400 a month. She couldn't get pregnant.
Okay.
She had endometriosis.
So that was.
So she started paying like $400 a month so that she could go to these new doctors that were coming out.
Yes.
These doctors that could.
Yes.
Help you have a baby.
Yes.
Just 2 babies if necessary.
Right.
And she finally had the laser surgery, microsurgery. At the time, she was bipolar.
Okay.
And when she'd go bad with the bipolar, the only way I could bring sense to her was to leave for a week or 2.
Wow.
And
that's the pill she had to take, huh?
yeah. But it was the only thing that would bring her back to her senses.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how many times she'd tell me when she was on a good swing, she'd love me forever. But people that are bipolar always hurt the ones they love.
Right.
When they're on that downswing.
Right.
And she'd apologize after.
Right. Like it wasn't her fault, but it was her fault. It's because of her sickness.
But it was something she couldn't fix.
Because of her illness.
But what she did to fix it would be self-medicate or get drunk.
Right.
There were times where I found the cooking sherry bottle empty.
Right.
I'm serious. So I started fooling around. Cute little blonde, the only blonde I ever went out with.
Did y'all have any kids yet? Was Vicky born yet?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
And I started spending the weekends with my girlfriend during the week with my wife.
Gotcha.
And she put up with it. She put my clothes out.
She knew?
Oh, yeah. She said, what y'all doing this weekend? I said,
wow.
Going across the lake. She said, you drive, don't let her drive.
No shit.
But this had gone on.
Okay. Yeah.
for
Oh,
years
wow.
of the bipolar.
Okay.
And I was to it. It was
Did you know about the bipolar before you got married, or this was something you found out later?
Well, I knew there was a problem.
Right. Right. You could sense the problem.
And actually, right before we got married, she went into one of those, and I said, you know what? I ain't doing this.
Right.
And my brother and sister and everybody said, man, you can't do this. You got to marry. You went this far. You got to marry. So I did.
Okay.
And I loved her.
Right.
But I couldn't take the mental stress
Right.
and strain of the bipolar.
Did she try to get therapy or stuff?
She went to psychiatrist, was diagnosed. They put on lithium, which is the worst thing they could give you.
But we didn't know this at the time.
But truth be known, and I've seen documentaries and a lot of things on it, psychiatry, it ain't real. They create it. They come up with things you do,
Right.
they give it a name, and they come up with a drug to prescribe you, and they tell you when they prescribe it, you're going to have to take this the rest of your life. 30% of what psychiatrists make is kickbacks on drugs they prescribe. 30%, 1/3.
So, like, even your wife being bipolar, there's not a medicine out there to help?
No, actually, I did. I'm a documentary freak, right?
Correct.
I did see a documentary on a man that had bipolar that was friends with a pharmaceutical salesman. And she told him, you got to see this house she lived in. She told him what to do. First, he had to go to Costa Rica
Okay.
and for almost a year detox from the lithium. It's a metal.
Huh.
And you become addicted to it, and you just get crazy he's crazier when you don't take it.
Huh.
And you got to do it slow because it's dangerous to detox from. He gets through that. He's getting better, but he's still having problems. She sends him to a doctor in California that does a blood test on him, and he had extremely high levels of mercury and lead. But he had a treatment that he could get it to come out of your body with
Okay.
injections and
In
stuff.
Costa Rica.
No, California.
In California. Gotcha.
And he finally got his levels down
Okay.
dirt low. He was better. He lived happily ever after.
Still bipolar, or it's
No.
cured?
No, no, he was
So
happy.
What is this that he's injecting into his body?
The doctor didn't reveal that.
Wow. So you're saying that it's possible to...
It is now, but psychiatrists ain't going to do that. Big Pharma's not going to tell you how to cure it.
Right.
Unless they can sell you something.
Right. So at this point, Vicky's mom she's uncurable, and you have this girlfriend that she knows about.
Right.
What happened
and
next?
then she goes to the doctor, and she has laser and microsurgery on her fallopian tubes.
All right.
2 weeks later, she's pregnant. I still had a little
Side
coke
piece.
enjoyment,
Oh, okay. Okay.
The day she came home and said that she was pregnant, I quit coke that day.
After how many years of use?
I think 12.
Every day? I knew that answer.
Every morning, noon, and night.
I knew that answer.
Every morning, noon, and night. I had coke dealers hit on my house at 4 a.m. in the morning for the third time that day to drop me off an 8-ball and say, look at me and say, I can't say you no more tonight. Call me tomorrow.
He knew
I
better
begged him. He said, no, call me tomorrow.
because he knew how bad the addiction was.
He knew how big my eyes were bulging.
So Laura.
So anyway,
Laura's pregnant.
she comes home. She says, I'm pregnant. I quit coke that day. And I was going to break up with my girlfriend, but she broke up with me because my wife got pregnant.
Smart girl, smart girl.
We still friends today.
There you go, man.
She was beautiful. She was beautiful. And I was good friends with her dad. Her dad used to buy a lot of weed from me.
There you go. Yeah.
I could have had it made if I'd have married her.
Right.
Her dad was, he drove the ships up the river.
Oh, he was a ship pilot.
The only way you could do that is be related to one.
You got it.
And if you didn't have a son, the son, the man of the son of
the wife.
The wife.
Yeah. You could have been a ship pilot, man. I could have,
yeah.
$350 a year, work a couple months out the year, that's it, man.
But money was it never excited me. Don't get me wrong, I liked having it. And I used to have some money. I used to sell 20,000 Quaaludes a month.
When you got into that, when the Quaaludes came out?
When they came out.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah.
One night, my wife comes home from work. She worked at this bar that her mama worked at forever.
This is Laura?
Yeah, and she knew the owner. Grew up with Frank Sinatra. He had pictures of him and Frank, as kids. But anyway, my wife, and she had two sisters also, both gorgeous.
Right.
Both gorgeous, and they would work there sometime too. But she comes home one night with a handful of Quaaludes. I said, "Where'd you get that?"
You knew what that was back then?
Okay. But they were rare, they were hard to get. And she says, the Spanish guy come in the club and he got toy. He gave them to me. I said, "Really?" I said, "Go see if you can get 50 of them from me." This is funny when you hear where this is going. She comes home with the 50 and I sell them and we made a few dollars. And the next thing you know, I'm buying 500 at a time. You know why 500?
Because they're cheap.
Because they spoke very little English.
Right.
And when I bought 5,000, they brought me 5,500. So I got 500 free.
So what does a Quaalude make you feel like?
It was like the only drug, and you name it, I did it. It was the only drug that was truly euphoric.
What was in a Quaalude?
Methaqualude.
Methaqualude.
I then graduated to some Colombian friends.
Okay.
Actually, that guy got busted.
Okay.
I called to see when he was coming.
Right.
And an English-speaking woman answers the phone, and my wife says, "English-speaking woman." I said, "Hang up." Right. So we get a call from some of their friends. Now I'm getting 20,000 a month.
How much were those going for back then a piece?
They were going for $100.50.
Gotcha.
That was $1.50.
Right.
Was what I was paying.
And you take the whole thing?
And I'd sell it to. No, I didn't. Because I was a businessman.
Right. Well, how much?
I only took a half.
Right. You got to save the supply. You got to ration the supply. Like, so what did you sell?
It wasn't. It wasn't ration the supply. It's just that I wanted to be able to.
Right. You didn't want to get hooked like. Right.
Business.
You didn't want to get hooked like with the other stuff.
It wasn't addictive.
No shit.
It wasn't addictive.
Well, how much did you sell it to people for, like per one?
$2.50 to $3.
So you was making like 20-something thousand a month. You was moving
minimum.
You was moving some big weight, man.
Minimum.
Sounds like everything that you do up until this
and
point
they were fronting it
is
to
big.
me.
No shit. You earn their trust.
And then I had this guy that I was working with in the chemical plant that wanted to buy 15,000. But he didn't want to do it at his girlfriend's house because she had kids in and everything. So he got a hotel room.
Right.
And I got my shopping bag, and he opens the door. I go in. The next thing you know, I get hit in the back of the head with a gun. Another guy jumps out from the closet with a gun. He says, "You know what this is?" I said, "I think so. I don't think I'm going to jail."
Were you
he
scared?
says, "Give me your keys."
Were you scared?
I wasn't get scared of getting killed because I didn't think he was going to kill me. Not right there in the hotel room. There had been too much noise. And,
Did you have?
and it was on the second floor. I mean, it was really stupid if he was going to kill me up on the second floor.
Was Vicky born at this point?
Say it again?
Did you have a daughter at this point?
No.
Okay.
No. So I said we had to jump back.
Yes. Yeah. No worries, man. We're good.
And
you lived a crazy ass life, man. So if we got to jump in it, we got to jump in different spots. It's all good.
So
they're robbing you.
Long story short, I called him and tell him I got ripped off. Tried every way I could to track him down. I had people that worked for finance companies, people that worked for the police departments, track his name, his license plate numbers, get a license plate number.
You had people working for you at this point?
Well, not working for me, but friends.
Right, favors.
That would enjoy and lose.
Right.
And long story short, never could catch up with him.
You can move the microphone back if you want.
Yeah, no, we're good. I just had to cross my legs.
All good.
And
you found him?
So I tell them, no, didn't find him. But, they told me I could work it off.
Okay.
And through them, I met this other guy.
Were these the Colombians at this point or no?
Yeah, those were Colombians. And then I got turned on to, I think by them, to a Cuban that lived on the West Bank.
Okay.
A guy named Mike Ruiz. He came here when Cuba first went communist. He came here with his parents.
Right. They became American at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice guy. Again, fronts, whatever you want, Coke, Quaaludes. And he used to get busted regular by the New Orleans police. They'd come in and take the money and the drugs and they'd leave.
No shit. Like a stop and go.
So finally the feds got tired of that shit. They went in and busted him. He did a couple of years. But he got out. He called me.
There you go. There you go.
So, so Vicky gets born. At this point, I quit the coke. I quit the coke.
Right.
At this time.
You quit selling it also, or you just quit doing it?
I'm telling you where we at. We had 1988.
Okay. Vicky's born?
No.
Oh, no.
I went to work for the Intercontinental. It had just opened.
Okay.
And
I used to work in there at a restaurant, actually. At Trenas.
Trenas.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it the Le Continental that they changed the name for?
The Intercontinental on, is it Poydras or?
No, St. Charles.
St. Charles, yeah. Sorry, St. Charles, yes.
Finage must have been after.
No, Trenas. It's like a newer restaurant. It's been out for a few years now, but
yeah, but this was back in the 80s.
Yeah, correct.
And Le Continental was the
correct.
The restaurant, the big restaurant. They had a little sandwich place downstairs. But anyway, I started there in '88 as a casual waiter, which means I don't work for a hotel.
Okay.
And I work as an extra on banquets.
Gotcha.
I was making $800 a week in '88.
Huh. No shit.
So right around Christmas, they make me a regular waiter. So now I'm getting benefits, working all the time.
Right. And at this point, you and Vicky's mom, are y'all having any more problems?
Vicky's probably born right after this.
Okay.
Somewhere around Christmas or right after Christmas, they made me a banquet captain.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I go to work somewhere, and the next thing you know, I start getting promoted.
You level up all the time. No matter what you do, it seems.
And Vicky's born around that time. Yeah, because she was born in February. Vicky Vicky was born February 6th. So, yeah, Vicky's born. I'm a banquet captain. I do this for another year or so. I'm assistant banquet manager.
About to
do this
take over.
for a few more years, another year or so.
Okay.
And there is no banquet manager. Just me.
Right.
So I ended up, I left out how I quit coke. I'm there. I'm working there.
Well, no. You said when she was born. That was when you. Well,
Yeah,
when you
well,
found
I
out she was
quit, but
pregnant.
how? You just don't
Okay.
quit.
Right. Correct. You don't.
It's not a
Correct.
physical addiction
Correct.
or withdrawals. It's mental.
Yes.
It's all mental.
Yes. Apparently,
And,
they say cocaine is non-habit forming, but mentally.
Well, it's mentally.
Correct.
Mentally, but it you don't go through any withdrawals, sick and
Correct.
nothing.
Correct.
So I quit, but I would get that urge. And I'd say,
Yep. I know what you mean.
I'm off. I'm on my way home. I could stop by so-and-so and pick up a little. But I know deep down inside, if I do that, I'm not going to want to stop.
Right. Sounds like the addict
So
mentality.
I'd go to the store and I'd spend all the money in my pocket.
What you would buy?
Video games, clothes.
No shit.
And I'd go
baby
home.
Baby clothes.
No, this is back
Oh, gotcha.
before, yeah. Vicky was born. But I did that, and it got easier. But there were times where I'd go out with the crew, the waiters, after we got off, and we'd have a few drinks. And
Right. One thing leads to another.
again, no.
Okay. Stay strong.
I'd go through all those thoughts,
Right. But you'd never act on it.
I'd go spend the money.
Right,
Still,
right.
Whatever, I'm going to spend it. And then I started feeling good the next morning because I'd wake up and I'd say, damn, I'm broke.
Right.
But look what I got to show for it.
Right. Right.
So,
Got some clothes.
yeah.
So when was
So then I'm good. I'm done.
right.
And after Vicky was born in February, and come May, we deserve vacation. We take a Caribbean cruise,
There you go.
7 days.
Vicky went with y'all?
Huh?
Vicky went with y'all?
No, she was only 5 months old.
Okay. Who's watching her at that point?
Mother-in-law.
Gotcha.
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
And
They're good babysitters.
you know what? No. We went to Jamaica.
Okay.
We did the Caribbean cruise way back when we got married.
Right on.
So we go to Jamaica.
Right.
Which could have been really a bad move.
Right.
Because you couldn't walk 5 steps without somebody wanting to sell you something.
Correct. They're trying to hustle.
Yes, and we stayed in Ocho Rios, and it's about a 2-hour ride, maybe longer, from Montego Bay.
Wow.
And we stopped at a little cabana, a little shed,
Right.
And I bought some weed. I go in the woods, smoking, ass kicking.
Good shit.
Oh, phew. So we get in and we go to a meeting. That's when they tell us, contrary to popular belief, drugs are not legal in Jamaica.
Okay.
If you get caught, you're going to jail.
Right.
So we unpack, we go out on the beach, and we find a new little friend.
There you go.
On the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And he get anything we want.
No shit. So you were thinking
So we
about
sent him for some coke.
Right.
We've been good,
Yeah. You
Kids ain't around.
Right. You deserve a break.
And before too long, we got the doorman, our friend. If we was in the room, we call the doorman and send out.
No shit.
We had fun. There was no air conditioning.
Okay.
There was no TV.
Right.
So if you was going to have a good time, he was going to be out.
Gotcha.
We did all the dunes, river falls, and we had a good time. We come back home.
Right.
I couldn't resist bringing the weed back.
Right.
And I started to put it in. I bought some allspice.
Yeah.
Which is what they make the jerk
Yes.
chicken and
Yes.
pork with.
Yes.
But I didn't. I had a 3-piece suit, and I put it inside the 3-piece suit, and I put it in my clothes bag with other suits. And we're coming home, and we got to go through customs, which we knew, but I see him opening my jaw of jerk pork seasoning.
Right. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Oh shit! They didn't broke the seal on my seasoning.
Right.
They're gonna find that shit.
Right. Gonna smell something besides that jerk.
But they didn't.
Okay.
But they didn't.
Close call.
And we came back, and I brought a souvenir back from Jamaica, and we named it Christina.
Right. So baby number two. So at this point you have 2 girls and the wife. So how was life once you had Christina? What started happening?
I got a little Mustang.
Okay.
A little convertible Mustang.
Right.
I'm still at the Intercontinental. And
perfect
I'm going to
dad car.
get some Delaudas. I'm going to get some Delaudas because actually I had an accident in a Mustang and I did a fishtail. You know, when you get on the GNO going across the river from town.
Yes.
You know, that hellacious curve.
Yes.
The back end come out from under me. And I ran head on to the side railing. And when I did, I flew over to the passenger side. My head hit the down piece.
Yeah.
And my chin broke my nose.
Jesus.
And I couldn't move either arm or leg.
No seatbelt, I'm assuming?
No. Seatbelts are for sissies.
Yeah. Right on. Right on.
So the car started rolling. I managed to swing my arm and hook it into the wheel because I couldn't move.
Right.
I couldn't move either hand, arm, or legs. And I swung my arm into the steering wheel,
Right.
where the wheel was here, and I pulled myself back into the seat. And when I did, the car started rolling backwards down the bridge, and I couldn't pick my foot up to step on the brake. So the back end of the car hit the other side.
All right. So at this point, from this accident, you're on Delauder.
No. I was going to get some.
Okay. You were in pain all the time?
But I went anyway.
Right. So at this point,
once I started feeling back, and I drove over there and I picked up a couple of Delaudas.
Right.
But I didn't have a habit.
Okay.
I had done Delauda prior to that when we got married.
What is Delauda?
It's not an opiate, but it's a pain pill.
Okay.
Which could be injected.
Okay.
But again, euphoria.
Right. So were you taking it as a pill, or were at this point injecting it? Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a waste to take it as a pill.
Right. So you were banging.
But if you injected it, you inject it, and then you just start feeling euphoria fill your body.
Gotcha.
But if you didn't do it more than once a day, you wouldn't develop a habit. You wouldn't develop an addiction.
Okay.
So I went and got the Delauda, and then I went to the hospital. I chipped a vertebrae in my neck. And I had excruciating pain from my neck down to my hands. I couldn't open a candy bar or a bag of potato chips. I didn't have the strength, and I couldn't hold it tight enough, and my fingers would just slide off.
You were pretty fucked up.
I was messed up.
Banged up.
And they referred me to an orthopedic doctor who started writing. I forget what he wrote.
Right.
But, I said, Doc, this is not pain management. It's not working.
Right.
I was trying to get the Delaudas.
Right.
I knew they would work. So I told him that, and I said, a friend of mine gave me this pill, and I'm acting stupid, right?
Right.
I said, well, I forget what he called it. The law did, the law da.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Acting like you didn't know.
So he didn't write me a high dosage, but he wrote it.
Right. So back to.
But it allowed me to work. I couldn't work.
Right. So
I couldn't drive.
Right. So at this point, you're taking a Delauda, and then, so what's going on next? Like, what's happening
Well, what's going on along with this is I'm at the Intercontinental.
Gotcha.
I hadn't got to the assistant banker, but I'm bank captain.
Right.
So I tried to kick around Thanksgiving. We had a week off, and I laid home in a ball in a bed, not taking anything and trying to kick it cold turkey.
Right.
And I had to go back to work after the week off. So I called these methadone clinics that were opening up everywhere.
That was starting to be the new thing, huh? Methadone, opioids.
Come to find out later on, years later, do you know who owned all the methadone clinics?
No, sir.
Judges.
Strange. Strange.
Judges.
So after that, you're kicking the law to what happens next?
Oh, I kicked it.
You got the...
I kicked it and...
With the methadone.
Then move to the methadone.
Okay.
At which time, I met all kind of new friends at the methadone clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And they had heroin.
Yep. That's where you can meet your dealers, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
And needless to say, I developed a heroin addiction, you know. And but I always kept it to bare minimum maintenance. You know, never did I. There was no way I was going to OD.
What's bare minimum maintenance?
1 bag 3 times a day.
So 3 bags a day?
When you wake up, midday, early evening.
So that 1 bag would be 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sometimes just 2.
What would that be for a normal person? Like if 1 bag, how much would that last them? Just depends.
Chances are you do 1 bag and
okay,
it would last you the day.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So at this point, you're addicted to heroin, and what's going on with the kids and the wife, man?
I'm still at the Intercontinental. Laura's home taking care of the kids, but she's still got a coke problem.
Now, how was her bipolarism at this point? With the babies?
There were times where I went upstairs in my, when you're banquet captain, you wear a tuxedo at night and you wear what you call a morning suit in the day. That's the one with the black and gray stripes.
Yes.
And I was in my morning suit and I went up to see the kids. They playing video games, and Laura's downstairs and she's just giving me hell. I don't remember what she was bitching about, but she was bitching. And I think Vicky or Christina, one of them, said, "Daddy, go hide in the closet and we'll tell her you're gone."
So how old are the girls at this point?
3 and 1.5.
And they're talking like that, having your back, huh?
Maybe 4 and 6. Because when Laura got killed, Vicky had just made 6.
Okay.
And Christina was still 4.
Okay. So at this point, she's bitching at you, breathing down your neck, giving you a bad time.
And I'm detoxing. I detoxed off the methadone.
Okay. How did you do that?
I worked it down. You start off at, they get you to 80 milligrams.
All right.
And once you test, your urine test negative for opiates, I started asking for a decrease.
Okay. So you were trying to kick
I got it down to, and then you get a couple of takeouts that you didn't have to go every day.
Right.
If you were a good boy.
Right.
And I got like 2 takeouts.
So Laura's
5 milligrams each. I went down from 80 to 5.
Wow. How long did that take? About a year?
I don't remember, but it was a while.
So Laura is still addicted to the coke, and
well, she's not addicted to the coke, but when she's on it,
right, that she was using that to self-medicate being bipolar.
Yeah.
Right on.
And
so what was that? What happened after that?
I got it down to 5,
okay.
And I took a half a dose a day.
Right.
For 1 bottle, and the second bottle, I just kept as my security blanket.
Right.
I said, if it gets bad, I'll take some.
Right.
But I never did. I ended up giving it to Laura.
Okay.
And at this point, I messed up at the Intercontinental, and I left. And now I'm at the Western Canal Place.
Okay.
As a room service captain.
Was it because of the addiction that you screwed up? Or?
No, I screwed up. I screwed up with the bank.
Okay. Okay.
I had the cash in the bank.
Right.
Because I had like a $300 bank for cash bars and shit like that.
Right.
And I didn't have change in it. And,
all right. So you at the Western.
And I got tied up with this lesbian thing.
Right. Right. Right.
Not sexually.
Right. Right on.
But they had brought before I made
captain,
assistant,
captain,
banquet manager. They brought in this woman from the Watergate who was a lesbian.
Right.
The head of convention services was a lesbian.
Right.
She brought her there.
Okay.
And I had to train her.
Right.
To be my boss.
Right. Gotcha. So at this point.
And then they hired this woman to run the department who worked for me.
Right.
And I mentioned she had a sister-in-law that was working there that was hated her.
Yeah, yeah.
I said some things I shouldn't have said, about her wanting to go home early with her the other lesbian that was my boss.
Yeah, yeah.
And it got back, and so they knew that I didn't have the change in the bank.
Right, so they let you go.
They ordered it to bank, and I'm out of job.
Right, so
I go to work for the Western Canal Place.
Okay.
And I'm a room service captain. Already had negotiations with the food and beverage director of moving into the banquet manager.
Right, so
at the Western Canal Place.
So as usual, you're moving up.
Yeah.
So when did shit start turning for the worse, I guess?
Well, one night I get off, and because of the suit and everything, I could ride in passenger elevators, and I get in, and I walk in, and it's mirrors on the back wall. And I walk in to the elevator, and I look in the mirror, and I see my daddy, not me.
He was bad. He was doing some crazy shit?
No. I went home, and I get a call about 2:00 in the morning from the hotel saying that the police had called to know that they wanted my phone number. And they called me, and they said that the police had called and said that my wife had been killed. And that made sense to me why I saw my daddy in the mirror.
It's a pretty wild fucking
It freaked me out.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild fucking phone call, man.
Well, not the phone call. Seeing my daddy in the mirror.
Right. Okay.
And then going home and getting that call.
Oh, okay. You got it when you got home.
So,
where were the girls at this point when you got home?
They were home with mother-in-law, but because Laura, we used to swap them out.
Okay.
It's been a week with Laura, it's been a week with me.
So how did this come about?
Daylight, I go over by my mother-in-law's house. The whole family's there.
What happened?
Girls are still in bed. What happened?
Yeah, like
Laura.
Yes.
She got this girl that she knew to go in the St. Bernard Project, and get her some coke.
Okay. So at this point, she was still using.
And she got ripped off.
Okay.
So the girl went back with her and got her more coke, at which time, when the girl got out the car and went in, she got shot 5 times from this side of the car. They jumped in the car because she took all the money with her.
Who? Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, she had some money because my best friend was with her the night before. And he had money in both pockets. His daughter had money in his purse, and she had money all up in her pantyhose. And
right. So she was going to get a lot of coke.
She was selling weed. No, she was selling weed.
Okay.
That's where the money came from.
Gotcha.
But she was buying some coke for her.
Gotcha. And so her friend
set her up.
Set her up. Killed her.
Yeah.
Over, I mean,
Money. Which I know, I have no doubt in my mind, if they'd have went to the car and said, give me the money, she'd have said, here.
Right. So at this point, the girls are still sleeping. You know, your wife's dead from a bad drug deal. Like, what's going through your head?
I'm going to explain this to the girls. So before they got up, I had to go identify the body, which pissed me off because I had to do it on a TV screen.
Mm.
That really pissed me off.
Why did it make you do that? That's how it is? Huh.
But anyway, so then I went back.
Like on camera?
Yeah. They put a camera on her and showed me a TV screen. Orleans Parish.
Gotcha.
So I go home. I'll go back to my mother-in-law's and pick up the girls. Get them up, get them dressed, and take them off. Go to Denny's and get breakfast. I said, man, I got to do this, you know. I said, hold on, Daddy's got to make a phone call. I think I had a page or something. It went off. I said, I got. So I go to the phone, act like I'm talking on the phone. I get back in the car. I said, girls. One of them was in the front. Oh, they were both in the back. I said, there was a call. Jesus called Mom up to heaven.
Just like that.
And they started screaming bloody murder to both of them.
Just like that.
And
They knew what that meant.
yeah, they were 4 and 6 years old at the time.
How, like, what was going through your head, man? Like, what did you?
Well, I've been dealing with death since I'm 10. My grandma, right?
Right. It started from her.
And I learned at a young age that this is how life goes. You're young, you watch everybody die. You get old, and they watch you die.
Right. The life cycle, it's a bitch.
Yeah.
So what happened after that?
So I tested. I was feeling bad. I tested positive for tuberculosis.
No shit.
So I got treatment for that. I couldn't go to work.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing for work at this point?
Living on
right.
money I was collecting that people owed.
Right. Were you still at the Westin?
Yeah, but I couldn't work.
Gotcha.
So I had dabbled with computers a little bit here and there and fixed some. So I lost my job at the Westin.
Okay.
And I started a computer business.
Right. How old were the girls at that point?
That was around. They were still 4 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a single dad.
They were still 4 and 6. And my brother worked for Andreas. He was the banquet manager at Andreas. It's a small restaurant, small scale, but he made good money.
Right.
So we moved in together, and we raised the girls close to Hines, which was a magnet school.
Yes.
But they had been gone because that's why we moved. That's why my wife moved in that area so they could go there.
How was that raising 2 daughters like that, single dad?
I enjoyed every minute of it. Twice I dated.
Was it hard?
No. The hard part was going home and them being all excited. Dad, you had a good time? Yeah. When can we start calling her mama?
Wow.
And me being a man of the world and a man always surrounded by women, I know it's just don't always work out.
Right.
You know, I mean,
you didn't want to.
Don't last. You're not made for each other.
You didn't want to let them down.
I'm not going to let them down again.
So you kept them without a mom.
Yeah. I didn't want to go through a few disappointments for them, you know.
Right.
And I didn't want to be stuck with some woman that was crazy. because it seemed that was my nature to find the craziest one out there,
Right.
and marry her.
So, I mean, how did they handle growing up like that? And it must have been hard for them, huh?
A little bit. There were times, Daddy, can we go sleep at so-and-so's house? And no.
Did they ever go to therapy?
Yeah. And Vicky was starting to somewhat come around, because you couldn't mention death, you couldn't mention cemetery around Vicky without her screaming and saying, "Shut up. I don't want to hear it." Christina dealt with it, but for the funeral, I didn't want to make them go. I wanted them to go. Christina wanted to go. Vicky didn't want to go.
So she never went.
But there's not a person that knows me, including my in-laws. I had one sister-in-law wanted to take them from me.
Were they mad at you about what happened?
It wasn't my fault.
Right.
We wasn't living together.
So she was doing her
did I tell you we were separated?
No.
We were separated.
Okay. And so she was still kind of ripping and running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
And I wasn't going back because I was done with it.
Right. So at this point,
And I didn't. If I stayed with her,
right, you were going.
I ended up doing it.
So she couldn't stop. You kicked it.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, you're raising your girls with your brother-in-law. No, your brother.
My brother.
Your brother.
Yeah.
And how was things moving forward from there?
Well, the first year,
yeah,
I took them to Disney World 3 times.
Fucking hell, man.
We went in
magical place on the planet.
We went first time in June or July. Second time we went for Mardi Gras, and the third time we went in June, because I bought the season pass the first time.
Right.
So it really only cost us
right.
to stay and to get there.
So life's good for them at that moment, at that time.
Yeah. They had a good time. I was trying to occupy their minds.
Right. So you got the job doing computers.
No, I started my own company.
Okay. So how old were you at that point?
I was the PC man.
When you started your company, how old were you?
Oh, damn. About 50.
So you went into business for yourself at 50?
40, something like that.
Recovering from addiction. Open up your own business. No. That's pretty crazy, man.
That's bullshit.
Which one?
The recovering is bullshit.
Why so?
It's not an addiction. I mean, it's not an illness. It's not a sickness. It's a choice.
All addiction.
All addiction is a choice. I remember making the leap into opiates. I remember saying, I got them all the time now, and I can get addicted.
Right.
But I don't care. It hurts too bad.
Right.
I distinctly remember making that decision. Everything has a reason. The reason psychiatry called it an illness or hereditary or whatever.
Right.
So that they can get insurance money.
Right.
I went in when I was at the Intercontinental, before I went to the methadone clinic. I tried going into a Turo Coliseum psychiatric hospital. They had the nuts in one room and they had the druggies and alcoholics in another. And they knew and stated it that everybody got their checks on the first.
Right.
Sometime they'd ask to go home so they could get their check out the mail before somebody stole it, and they wouldn't come back.
Right. until their check ran out.
And they would say they'll be back when the check runs out.
Right, right.
It's just a money-making thing.
Right.
It's just a money-making thing.
Right. So you got your PC company. The girls are how old at this point?
8, 9.
Okay. Okay.
You know, first grade, second grade. They went all the way through Hines to 6th grade.
Okay.
I had the business. And then I also was making more money because I had a guy sending me 30 pounds of weed at a time from California.
All right.
And I was making a lot of money selling weed. And then I made friends with some people who were selling a lot of coke, which I didn't buy any of, but they were making money hand over fist with the coke. And I would make a little extra money by holding 200 pounds of their weed for them.
Right. Needed somewhere to stash it.
And they lived good. They had the best of Christmases. We ate out, nice restaurants.
How was it? Were they like always sad about their mom not being there, or like at this point?
No, not at this point. I kept them too well occupied.
Right.
And they would ask, Dad, can we go sleep with so-and-so's? And I said, no.
Right.
Why not, Daddy? I said, because I was young once too.
Right.
I said, but if they want to come sleep here, they're more than welcome. But their mom and daddy's going to be there. I said, yeah, I know, baby, but I don't know their mom and daddy.
Right.
You know. Many years later, when they turned 19, they made me cry. They thanked me for being the daddy I was. Because they weren't like their friends.
Right.
Married, divorced, on drugs or alcohol.
I think that's when I met Vicky, when she was maybe even 17.
Yeah, they were teens. They were young teens when they went to work there.
Yeah.
Or their late teens.
I remember Christina always studying in her book, stressing, always studying, heads down in the books.
And then after Katrina, I had a friend that used to sell quarter pounds of weed too. Woman.
Right.
And she says, my cousin's husband owns a limousine company. He's looking to hire people. You want a job? I said, no. And finally one day I said, is your cousin's husband hiring? I went to work for him, and here I am now.
Did you ever get caught?
Oh, yeah.
You ever got busted?
Yeah, I got busted with about 3 bags
of
heroin.
And how old were you?
57.
So at 57, you were busted with 3 bags of heroin. The girls was this before or after you became a limo driver?
They busted me with possession, and they tried to get me with distribution.
Okay.
But I did a favor for a man in a number of years before that. It turned out to be an assistant DA in Jefferson Parish.
So you had to call that favor in.
And he told me, he says, I really appreciate what you did, because I was going out of my way and putting some other people that I was supposed to be picking up out the way.
Right. Accommodate.
And he says, listen, I'm assistant DA. No, he says, I'm attorney. He says, in fact, I'm assistant DA. If you ever need anything, here's my cell phone number. Here's my office number. I said, gee, I appreciate that, but I've never had a need for this.
Right.
But I appreciate the offer.
Right.
And when I got out of jail, first thing I did was call him.
Wow. So that was the first time that you went to jail at that point?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So you managed to get through most of your life without
all of my life.
Right. Yeah, your whole life.
As much as I've seen and
been a part of. So at 57.
So I got drug court.
Okay.
Because I had a rat. But I had a rat.
How that made you feel?
It made me feel bad, but I had to be there for my kids.
Right.
And probably if it wouldn't have been for my kids, I wouldn't have ratted.
How did that turn out?
I noticed at that time we were in a FEMA trailer because it was right after Katrina.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. Yeah.
It's okay.
Because I thought I saw out the window somebody suspiciously sitting.
Right, like
after it was all said and done, I ran into the guy, and that guy was sitting there for me, and he called him and told him, never mind.
Why you think he did that?
Got to be God.
Yeah, man. Sounds like
It's got to be God.
Sounds like each time you've
There's some reason I'm
came
still
to
here.
death. Yeah.
None of my ancestors or family had lived to 70, and I seem to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
They all died of heart attacks. My heart's just as
How old are you right now?
70.
Yeah, you look fucking good, man. I hope I look like you at 70. You think it's from all the partying, or what do you what do you attest it to?
The truth is, I think the opiates had a lot to do with it, and I've heard this. The opiates slow your metabolism down, so which means it slows your aging down.
Why does it make people so skinny?
It don't. It's other things.
Oh, right.
A lot of times it could be alcoholism. But I can't tell you all the people that I think are older than me.
You think that was
not. They're 10, 15 years younger.
Right. So at this point, what happens then?
Just continue what I'm doing.
Right.
Trying to.
So you got, how long you had to do drug court for?
2 years.
What happened after that? Just
graduated and didn't do anything.
Okay.
I think I might have smoked a joint and had a drink because you couldn't even drink.
Right. They were drug testing you every week.
I think I might have smoked. Oh, and I had a limousine pick us up, you know.
So did you start a limousine business after this?
Yeah. It was a couple of years after.
Okay. So how old were you when you started that?
17. 2017.
Oh, gotcha. No, how old were you?
Damn. What's 17? Let's see.
66?
61, 69, and 19, 68, and 17. So 68, huh?
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah. 66, I think. Or 67.
Yeah, 60
something like that, yeah.
Early
Right, so you
mid,
started a business again.
Early mids, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've persevered over a lot of shit, man.
Yeah. But like I said, I think God watched over me. There's some reason that I'm still here.
Maybe for the girls, you know?
I thought that may be part of it. Can you imagine what kind of mental wrecks they would be now if they were raised by a woman that was bipolar? I mean, I remember seeing her outside, which she loved those kids to death, but I remember on a downswing, swinging on the ground, swing them into the ground. One of them, I think it might have been Christina, because Christina wasn't her favorite. Vicky was everybody's favorite.
So she basically would have a crazy attack and...
Yeah, well, she'd go into that bipolar thing and...
throwing them around like a rag doll.
There wasn't nothing. She wasn't coming out in a few hours.
You think the girls remember that?
A little bit. Christina really don't even remember her mama.
Right. Maybe that's a good thing from the sounds of it.
Yeah, Christina really don't remember. Now Vicky, she's got a good memory.
So what you been working on now, man? You're 70 years old and you have 2 grown daughters that you raised.
Believe it or not, I got warned about it tonight not to do it anymore. I can't tell you all the people I bring in. So
at this point, you still have your business. You're still driving around people, important people, regular people.
And the slightest little chance, I'll start telling them all I've learned in the last 35 years.
So you've been doing...
and I tell them, I say, you're going to think I'm crazy.
Right. What you been learning for the past 35 years?
How we've been lied to for the last 7,000 years. Probably the last 100,000 years. But, they limit it to 7,000.
Right.
And I did hear an interesting theory recently that 7,000 years in God years. Way longer.
Right.
Way longer, but in God years, 7,000.
Right. I see. That's what I wanted to tell you. Like, the next time I have you on, if you're willing to come back, I definitely want to dive into that because I feel like that's something that, a lot of people are talking about right now. COVID times we're living in. And I definitely think there's something to be said about the things you've told me, and we talk all the time. And I don't know, man. Like, what do you think people agree, disagree, believers, non-believers? We have this talk all the time, but
Yeah. What I'm starting to realize is that there are a lot of people, and it depends on their IQ level. It really does.
right,
Who know that it's more than what we've been told.
right,
And they got a lot of people, and chances are they watch CNN and love it,
right,
that don't want to believe it. Don't even want to hear it
right,
because it's not true.
right,
Can't be.
right,
And I've heard them tell me, that's not what I was taught. That's not the way it is.
right. Well, we were all taught the same thing growing up, usually. Some of us.
Well, that's an interesting thing, yes, because we've all been taught that, but there's so much that we haven't been taught and should have been. I for a long time, I thought that my generation was the last ones to get a real education.
Right,
And I got to thinking about it. No, I wasn't given a real education. We
Right.
studied history. They
Right.
don't study history no more.
right,
We studied history, but it was names and dates.
right,
What kind of history is that?
right. What is it nowadays, you think?
What is what?
Like, what are the kids learning nowadays?
What they want them to believe. And they want them to believe they're free, and they're not.
Right,
People your age and Vicky and Christina's age have no idea what it was like in the 50s and the 60s,
Right.
and even in the 70s.
right,
But we was beginning to be primed then, actually before then.
right,
But they do everything in little small steps
right,
so that you can believe it. And guess what? They start with the younger generations because they're morons.
right,
And they're going to believe whatever they've been told.
right. Kind of like followers or something.
But people like you who have a higher than average.
I'm not that smart, man. I'm very open-minded.
If you wasn't
right.
that smart, you wouldn't be putting things together.
Okay.
You would be accepting what you was told
Well, thank you.
and happy.
Right.
I'm
always curious.
For them to believe anything that I've told them,
Yes.
some of these people, and my cousin, like I said, is one of them.
Right.
What they don't realize is, they got that little line in the Bible that says, these words cannot be changed. But it didn't say eliminated.
Hmm.
And there's a lot that's been eliminated,
Right.
like the book of Enoch. There are more besides the book of Enoch.
Right.
But the book of Enoch, if you read this book of Enoch or just listen to it, the audio,
Right.
you have no doubt that God rode in a UFO. Because Enoch wrote that he did.
Right. Right.
They actually call him the man that walked with God.
Wow.
And the end of it, God took him with him. He was a scribe. And he would write everything in his books that he went through with God and everybody else. Now, I forget, it starts with an M. But Enoch was Noah's grandfather.
Right.
And then it's some name starts with an N, and I can't remember, but it's a name you would, when you heard it, you'd say, oh, yeah, I heard him.
Biblical.
Yeah. But everything in the book of Enoch, it tells all of that about Noah, and his dad. Noah's dad went to Enoch, and he told him, he says, it's not my son. He glows. he shines. You ever heard of the shiny ones?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you who the shiny ones is. You ever heard the word Elohim?
Yes.
In Sumerian, Elohim means the shiny ones. That's the translation of it.
Right.
And they supposedly are the Anunnaki.
Gotcha.
I mean,
it goes deep.
It goes deep. But all of this was eliminated to keep us from putting one and one together and coming up with two.
Right, right. Well, I definitely want to talk about that next time you're on here, man. I definitely think we could dive really deep and maybe open up a lot of people's minds to.
Yeah, but you know what I want to do? And if you want to help me, I'll show you where to go. In fact, I got a whole thing on YouTube saved.
Right.
Just Anunnaki.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. I'd like to.
And we can give people reference points where they can go and check it out themselves, just so that they don't say, these guys are crazy.
Well, the next time when I have you on, we'll pop up stuff on the TV, get the YouTube, like have like, maybe a whole just jam out session of that, an educational episode, if you will, to talk about all the points up until this point that you've been learning and, really kind of explain to people what we are actually talking about because we've had these conversations and I'd really enjoy that. I'm sure the listeners would enjoy that. And I think it's about time to cut out, man. What you think?
Yeah, oh yeah, I was going to tell you that because this is the last thing I said. We didn't ran everybody else off.
Yeah. Well, no, man, it's a first episode and, still getting the hang of it, but I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for being a part of it, and I look forward to working with you soon, and that's all we got for tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all listening. Where can people are you on any social medias or
no? You know
Okay.
why?
Why?
I refuse to support them.
Gotcha. Off the grid.
It's the truth.
Awesome.
I refuse. Well, I got off of Twitter.
Right.
Because I was afraid I was going to end up on a no-fly list.
Right. Gotcha. Well, that's all right,
And I
man.
got off of Messenger and with just a few people that are like us.
Right.
And Facebook, because anything that's true, they wipe it off.
Right.
Which, in the sense, is good if you can catch it before it goes off, because then you can know what it is that you need to research more.
Correct. Well, shit, man. Next time you're on, we're gonna go straight into that, and I think the listeners will be really pretty wild as you've wowed me, and kind of opened me up to some new things that, again, I start putting two and two together, realizing like, oh shit, this isn't too far off what you're talking about, and it definitely opens up your eyes. So I appreciate it, Glenn. Thank you for coming on, man, and looking forward to having you back.